Welcome, Dr. Jay's Beckett Sports Card Insights, here with another panel. This is panel number 15. It goes from Jack Clark to be specific, up through Mickey Cochrane. And I have who's on the wall currently, as well as who might be on the wall in the future, who might be coming off, because it's a little bit fluid. As I've said, I have a large order at BGS that I've been waiting on for a while. I'm patiently waiting because I know they have a big backlog, and I'm not their biggest or best customer, but I am a customer, and I'm getting fair treatment. So thank you for that. Jack Clark, this first guy here, this is a kind of a pre-rookie. I like to put a few pre-rookies in there. I think Jack is eventually, even though he was a very feared hitter, I think he's eventually going to not make the grade and get bumped out because he's not going to be in the Hall of Fame. And the Cardinals were big down here, but it's just probably not enough interest. Wendell Clark, I don't think he's going to make it, although this is a 10, and as you can see, it's 9.5 corners. I can't see it, but I trust that it's not a black label. But it is a 10. And the point I want to make about Wendell Clark is when I went to Toronto for the shows, the semi-annual shows at that point, at least in the early mid 90s, it was terrific. But Wendell Clark, very popular in Toronto, and I had to, filter out the fact that he might go for more in his local town. But still, it's an interesting card, and it's a 10. I don't think he's going to make the final grade for the wall. Will Clark, another one of these Crusade. I think what I will probably do is swap out either the Canseco or the Will Clark for a different card, a different, better card that's interesting, because I don't like to have two of these Crusade cards that are the limited to 25. It just, one of them is enough, and especially when they're not, they're both, players that begin with C. Bobby Clark, this card I opened out of a pack, and I remember I actually had an unopened box, and this was a number of years ago. I don't remember, but I started opening packs, and this is one of the better cards that I got. You would think all the cards would be 10s, but they're not. They're not. So whether it's Topps or OPC, this is a 9, which is outstanding, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's mint, but it's not gem mint, and I don't. But I got it out of a pack. Santa Claus did not get this out of a pack. This has never been in a pack, although it went out, I think, to a lot of our dealers back in the year 2000. I remember that. And I'm looking for a signed version. I know some of them were signed, and I whether it was lottery or something, but I haven't seen the signed ones. And I'm curious about that. So I'm still looking. Roger Clemens. This card is what has been on the wall. It's too subtle. This is the Hawaii version that's numbered to 20, I think. It's just, there's not enough. And so what I may replace it with is either this, which I think is a really good tough card, the Mirror Gold, or more likely I will replace it with the Pacific Kramer's Choice green. Those are fun. I like those. I mean, the fact that it fits within a 2.5 by 3.5, even though it's smaller, it's trimmed, not trimmed illegally, but die cut, let's say. It's a beautiful card. A lot of workmanship. The Clemente card that I've had for all these years up there on the wall has been this test issue from '67. Again, I know who I traded to get it. Somebody that had access to some of these failed tests at Topps. And so I have some other cards, but let me show you a couple that I thought about putting up and I didn't. One is this 62 Topps, but it's the Venezuelan, and in a 5 is really, really good shape for the Venezuelan issue, but it's too similar. You can tell on the back. And then same deal with this one. This is an 8, but it's the Opichi. And again, really a tough card, especially tough at an 8. Not for sale, but again, I don't think I'd put that on the wall because if somebody walks up to it, they just think it's a 65 Topps. And then Ty Cobb, I do have a better Ty Cobb that's at BGS right now. That's a T206 that has a tough back. But again, the problem is if you're showing the front of the cards, who can see that it's a they could still see that it's a T card that's you know, a T206 that's still tough. But if it's, you know, has a different back, they're not going to see it unless they pull it off. And I don't really like people pulling cards off my wall. Lastly, Mickey Cochrane was a really good player, very respected, and I really like batter-ups. One of the reasons I like batter-ups is because my dad didn't have any of those. These came in that same window of when my dad was collecting. When he had Goudies, he had play balls, he had a lot of different Goudie type things. He had some National Chickles too. He had no batter-ups. And so when I started collecting, I aggressively thought, well, I wonder if they're tougher. Well, they probably are a little bit tougher. They're certainly tougher than Goudies, but you know, it's not impossible. And I think I got pretty close to a complete set of those before I disassembled it. So again, thank you everybody, and I'm enjoying going through these wall panels. Hope you are too, and I'll see you again tomorrow.